I'm Jeff Paur, Senior Writer for RealTime Fantasy Sports, and welcome to the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. On today's show, I'm going to give you 5 waiver wire ads for Week 17 of the fantasy football season. It's likely championship week for all of you if you're still playing. Week 17, that's when most of the championships are played, the second last week of the fantasy season. If you're playing, good luck this week, and if you have to scour the waiver wire, hopefully you don't have to go too deep this week. Not a lot of great options out there, but there are some players out there that I think could help if you're maybe looking for a flex play or a deep option at receiver. Let's get into these waiver wire ads for Week 17. My first one's Texans running back Rex Burkhead. Burkhead had a great matchup last week. He took advantage, had his best game of the season. He ran 22 times for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has double-digit fantasy points 2 of 3 games. He also has at least 11 carries 5 of 6 games, so he's getting a ton of work. He's the lead back for the Texans. They're playing some better football right now as well, and he remains available in 78% of leagues. Not a sure thing, but he's going to get the volume, and so I like him maybe as a low-end flex play for the rest of the year. My next waiver wire ad for Week 17, I'm going to butcher his name, and I apologize. It's Jaguars running back Dar Ogunbowale. Again, I butchered his name, but James Robinson, Carlos Hyde are out, but Ogunbowale is the next man up. He played all right in that lead role last week. He ran 17 times for 57 yards and a touchdown. He scored 15.2 fantasy points in that game. Again, kind of like Burkhead, I like him because of the volume. The Jaguars are going to run the ball, so I think the volume is going to be there for Ogunbowale going forward. I think he could be a flex play the rest of this season. My next waiver wire ad for Week 17 is Bills receiver Isaiah McKenzie. He was a huge surprise last week, got more work with Cole Beasley and Gabriel Davis both out because of COVID protocols. There are no sure things to return this week, and if that's the case, I think McKenzie has real value in this great offense. McKenzie caught 11 passes for 125 yards and a touchdown on 12 targets against a really good Patriots pass defense. Again, if Cole Beasley, Gabriel Davis are out, McKenzie has value going forward, so just keep an eye on their status for McKenzie for this week. If they're out, McKenzie's a good play. My next waiver wire ad for this week is Eagles running back Boston Scott. Scott might be the last man standing for the Eagles in their Week 17 game. Both Miles Sanders, he has a broken bone in his hand. Jordan Howard suffered a stinger last week. They're banged up, might not be able to play this week. That means Scott's kind of the last man standing for the Eagles, and he's played pretty well with his chances in the past. He gets to start behind a very good Eagles offensive line as well. He has double-digit fantasy points 4 games, touchdowns, 5 touchdowns this season as well. So Scott has some value, especially in a starting role. So he could be a good play for Week 17. My last waiver wire ad for this week is Packers receiver Allen Lazard. Lazard has found the end zone 2 of 3 games. He has top 13 fantasy points 2 of those games. He still doesn't have big yardage potential, but he is doing well in finding the end zone, getting some targets in the passing game also. And the last 2 games of the season, they are against Minnesota and Detroit. These are 2 of the worst pass defenses in football, so I think Lazard has some real value the rest of the way in 2 very favorable matchups for the Packers passing game. And Lazard remains available in 65% of leagues on our site. All right, those are my 5 waiver wire ads for Week 17 of the fantasy football season. If you're playing in those championships, good luck this week. I hope you come out on top. And if you're looking for some players on the waiver wire, I hope you get all the bids or the players you're looking for this week. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports. Have a great day.